Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick Barry, the boater, and Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew on this first broadcast into our 19th year on the air for the World of Boating. I kid you not, April Fool's Day was our anniversary last Saturday. Here we are. We made it through another year. And, there's no telling what's going to happen as we approach our 20th year on the air. I kind of take it on a week-by-week basis. So it's anybody's guess whether we make it to next Saturday, let alone to our 20-year anniversary. But here we are today. We're going to make the best of it. Mike the Mariner out on the water as we speak. And I don't know. This doesn't look like your boat, Mike. Are you on someone else's vessel today, or what is that?
No, this is Silhouette. We're on St. Johns River today.
Okay.
We went up to about
all right. Well, you know what? He is the passenger, and he has his better half at the helm, and that's why it looked a little different in the closed caption video and on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So I don't know. You're just kicking back and enjoying the scenery today for a change, right? All right.
That's right. I'm hanging out, letting her run the boat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's on the he's literally on the water. So I'll tell you what. Hold back a little bit. He's in a kind of a rough sail zone at the moment because they are literally underway. So we'll let him pull into a cove, and then we'll get in to it a little deeper there with Mike the Mariner. But obviously he's in good hands, being that he's not at the helm. Would you agree, Barry? What do you think? Yeah.
Well, who's at the helm is actually better looking. So.
Well, okay. Don't make it awkward, Barry.
No, I'm not. He gave me a thumbs up. He agreed with that.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, I would tend to agree too. All right. We do have a lot of boating news and information to navigate through today, however. Captain Patrick was telling us a story right before we went on the air about a new boat that caught his eye because Patrick is also a motorcycle maven. And I think there's been a boat that is taking its, nautical, clues or cues from a motorcycle and taking this and designed a new boat called what exactly, Patrick? What is it?
We are in our 19th year. It only seems like 57.
Right.
And despite our pre-show meetings, how you could get everything that I said and turn it around backwards is astounding, Greg.
Wait, you said you liked the design of this boat because it took some, design cues from a motorcycle Sportster, right?
The story revolves around a Harley-Davidson Sportster that has been built, kind of a custom build, that takes its design cues from the Riva Aquarama.
Oh, so it's reversed. That's what
reversed. I just said.
Yes, okay. All right. Well, regardless, you like it. You were pretty animated about it, and I like. Okay, Patrick's actually pretty. He's pretty ginned up on this this design. So
well, it's certainly a one-off, and some motorcycle enthusiasts will kind of poo-poo the Sportster. Mine that I was riding when I was hit head-on back in 2014 by that guy coming out of that center turn lane. Mine was a 1200 custom Screaming Eagle performance package. Plus, I did a bunch of custom touches. I lowered it in the rear, did a custom seat. I had that thing was just amazing looking, really turned heads.
Yeah.
Except for one, the guy who hit me.
Well,
really turned
it only
heads.
Takes one.
I went.
Right.
Yeah. So this one coming out of this Italian design studio took a lot of its design cues from the Riva Aquarama, which, if our listeners are familiar with that boat, if not, run to your computer now.
Well, describe it. I mean, that's what we want to talk about.
The Riva Aquarama is a classic wood boat design. Kind of has that rounded boat tail, if you will. Heavy wood accents. I mean, it's laid up wood. A lot of nautical white and teal. And the Sportster, and you can find a picture of this, of course, at worldofboating.com, or if you follow us, World of Boating, on Facebook, you'll see a picture of this. And it's just one of those that you can see they put a lot of detail into it, a lot of hard work. It's certainly a custom. I don't think anybody that they would even ever sell this. It'll probably be a display bike and make the rounds and.
Well, it's something like if you buy the Aquarama, right? The Aquarama, and you buy that, you would want to get you want to complement the purchase with one of these Sportster motorcycles, right?
If you could get them to buy another one, this was done by Hazard Motorcycles. So it's just a really, really neat thing that really kind of caught my eyes. As I was perusing the boat news stories for the past week. This one popped up on my feed, so I thought I'd share that. Got some already got some little bit of feedback on the Facebook page.
Right.
So,
thumbs up, thumbs down. What are they saying?
Oh, yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if you had a choice,
going, hey, stupid Captain Patrick, this is a boat show. Don't be
give it time.
About motorcycles.
Give it time. Well, what about what would you buy first, Patrick? Being you're a motorcycle and a boat guy, would you get the motorcycle first, or would you get the boat first if you had the option and money wasn't an issue?
If money wasn't an issue,
right?
You get both.
The boat.
The boat. And how much is that thing going for? Do you have any idea?
Those Riva Aquaramas?
Yeah.
Money's no issue now.
I know. So what do we know?
I'd have to go pull, if you could even find, I'm sure there's some out there for sale. Barry's going to go run some numbers. He's my accountant.
Here we go.
Boy, God help us.
But you are up there in the stratosphere of, that is those Riva Aquaramas. I mean, that is a sunset cocktail type of boat, or you're going to go cruise around the lake. You make a couple passes before you put it back in your mansion of a boathouse. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah. What do you find?
How much does a Riva boat cost?
That's what I asked. Yeah.
Prices range from $15,797, which maybe is just the steering wheel, all the way up to $8.4 million.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
How could it start at 15,000?
I guess it depends on.
That's for the model boat that you put on your desk.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be the little one.
The RC version.
But if you're going to get this boat, then you really need to get the bike to accent it.
Well, I was going to say,
it would be cool. You have your boat at the local marina, preferably on a dry dock, because you don't want it getting all nasty in the water.
Right.
And you ride up in your Aquarama motorcycle.
Yeah.
And park it in its little spot.
What is similar though? Is it the line, the colors? I mean,
it's the colors. It's the accents. It's,
okay.
Everything from the kind of that blue, teal, and white. The way they painted the engine, the custom cowling around the front, but
it doesn't have wood on it, does it?
Well,
I don't believe that that's actually made out of wood.
Oh.
I would be surprised if it was, but
it might have like teak accents and things like that. Wood accents.
No,
maybe.
there's no teak. There's no teak on that boat.
No, but I mean,
here's an Aquarama.
Yeah.
Here's one on the screen.
The deck looks like a wood grain kind of thing or something. I mean, it may not be wood.
No, the Aquaramas are all wood.
Oh, they are. Okay.
That's not a fiberglass.
Well, then what were you saying was not wood? The bike, you mean, or
the cowling on the front of the motorcycle?
Oh, okay.
Kind of the winds. It's kind of a combination. Almost mimics. You're familiar with cafe racers, Greg?
No, I'm familiar with racers. I'm familiar with cafes.
Okay. Do you remember a song from the '80s called "Take on Me" by the group Aha?
Yeah, they suck.
Yes.
Okay.
Hated them then, hate them now.
Okay, but you remember that video where the guys are on the motorcycles?
Turn into cartoons.
Cafe racers.
Oh.
Okay. So now we got to go watch that video.
No, we
yes,
don't.
you do.
No,
yeah,
but it is interesting, as question for Barry and Mike. With the boats that you have, what vehicle best would mimic or complement the boat that you have?
All right, we'll let them think about that at the on the commercial break and come back, and maybe you should think about it at home too. I never thought about that, but maybe it's something we should be doing. All right, that's coming up next on the World of Boating.
listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other two-thirds of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we play.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick Barry, the boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. All right, so you got a boat. You need to buy a motorcycle. What should that motorcycle look like? Is that what you're asking, Patrick? Or what kind of vehicle should you pair it up with?
No.
What?
The question I asked was, based on the story we just talked about,
right?
What vehicle for Barry and Mike, what vehicle best complements the vessel that you have?
Honda Ridgeline. Black edition.
That's not an actual thing.
It is. It's a
no, it's
vehicle.
not.
2017 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition.
Wrong.
Awesome.
Any truck that has a solid body is not a truck.
Okay. All right, that doesn't help Barry, I don't think.
I was having a debate about that in my mind earlier today about the Ridgeline, and I go,
All right,
why
so
am I wasting my time?
Well, let's find out how much wasted.
You're struggling here, man. You're struggling.
It is. Yeah.
all right, so
Barry has a 17-foot Triumph.
Now,
Triumph motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to go by name, Triumph motorcycle. If you wanted to go by, is there anything styled like that? It's a center console boat. There's no car that I could think of that would be styled like that.
How about a milk truck? Because it's made out of like milk cartons, plastic milk cartons.
But they're not only the cartons. But here's a car that was plastic, and we're not talking about the fiberglass Corvette. We're talking about the old Saturns. And I did have a Saturn station wagon. I had the first ones that came out.
Did.
The SW1. Hey, I put 200,000 miles on that little sucker.
Really? So you would pair your Triumph, 17-foot Triumph center console with a old
Saturn.
An old Saturn.
But it was a good car.
Let me twist the question.
Okay, twist it.
What vehicle would you customize to look like your boat? Like this Harley Sportster was customized with the accents to kind of mimic the look of the Riva Aquarama. So is there a vehicle out there that you would
No.
There's
There's
I'm
not,
gonna take
because not
this
according to Barry.
Wait,
Doesn't
here's why I
exist.
say that. Just wait,
2003 white Saturn
listen.
station
Yeah.
wagon.
Right. Yeah. Understand, Patrick, the boat that you see is beautiful. It is a piece of art. Okay.
Which
This
one
is
are we
everybody's
talking
boat
about?
is a piece
I'm
of art.
talking about the Riva, the
Aquarama.
Aquarama. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
That is gorgeous. That is a piece of art.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The surprise, my little plastic boat is just a boat. It's more like a utility vehicle.
Wow.
It has really nothing. It's
Are
every
you really
center
gonna,
console.
Barry? Are you?
I'm not
are
trying
you
to put it down.
You are. You're putting your
No.
own vessel down. She's going to
Your
hate
boat
you.
is in the garage crying right now.
no.
How
it's
dare
just that
you
it's the
disparage
center
your
con-
own vessel? What's
If the company that made these Aquaramas made a center console that was like mine, that would be a different story. But the thing that is unique about it is that it is plastic and it is very, very sturdy as far as that's concerned. And the Saturn was the same way. I never, ever in the 20 years that we had it, because my son had it for 10 years, never had a dent on it because anytime a car opened up and hit it, it just bounced right off. And that's the same as the as Surprise.
So
All right.
so why don't you just say the Tesla Cybertruck?
Not a
No,
good
because
match?
it's not big. It's not
Nah.
that big a truck. It maybe a Tesla, because but Teslas aren't plastic, are
Okay.
they? They're aluminum or something
It has
like
to be
that.
plastic. I say
Well,
we.
that's what the boat is plastic.
Why don't we get him one of those little kitty electric Jeeps? That you give a 2-year-old putts down
I'm
the
sorry.
sidewalk.
It just is what it is. But I found there is a camper out there that looks like a boat upside down.
That's not. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you want. I know what you want. I just can't give it to you. I'm sorry. I sent you a picture.
He's really trying.
I sent you a picture.
Mike, can you bail us out of
Yeah,
this bit?
help, Mike, help.
I'm gonna go with Winnebago.
Oh, come on!
Well, okay, a new one or like Christmas Vacation type
No,
or
yeah,
something.
like Christmas Vacation.
Really?
kind of big and blocky. you
Yeah?
know, with the yeah.
All right, so
That's not a Winnebago.
He's shaking his head.
right. Okay.
Look at this screen, Patrick.
I don't know. I would think you guys would be thinking bigger than that, but
Yeah.
okay. But you're thinking Winnebago from the standpoint that okay, it may not be the prettiest vessel in the at the marina, but it's very utilitarian. It works. The size is right, and it does everything you want it to do.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you mean?
Gee, kind of like a battleship. The only thing missing is a gun turret on the bow.
A gun? What?
A gun turret.
A gun turret.
Turret. Right. That's what I
Turret.
thought he said. Okay.
All right,
But,
we both disappointed Patrick. He's
All right,
gonna go
I think Winnebago makes a little bit more sense than Barry's thing. I think Barry lost the thought process of your question there, Patrick.
No,
but
I didn't lose the
They
thought
both
process.
did. It's kind of like if you were looking for a vehicle to customize and you were taking some of the design aesthetics from your boat, what vehicle would you choose to, again, kind of customize to resemble your boat?
Yeah.
Barry is going to drive around in a milk carton,
right.
and Mike is going to
about
drive around in a box.
Yeah, I'll
In a
tell you what. When AI takes over and your boats actually have their own personality, you both of you fall in that category. Like you just called your boat fat. She is going to turn on you. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
I would think you'd want to compliment
Pristine.
your
Yeah.
vessel more than that. She would. I don't think she'll respond.
I mean, right now,
favorably
Greg's
to that.
Honda Ridgeline is looking pretty good.
Yeah. Duh.
It's just that
What?
there is nothing that I would want to drive with wheels on it that I would want to look like my boat. It just doesn't work.
Okay. Mike the Mariner, what say you? What do you think?
Gentlemen, I'm actually going to have to go. I have to talk to a railroad bridge now.
Okay, go
Oh,
do
I
that.
know where he's at. I know where he's at.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let Mike sign off and do that. Because
This is Mike calling the railroad bridge. Mike
Say-
calling the railroad bridge. Over.
this is Winnebago 2. Would like you to raise the bridge for Winnebago 2.
Yeah,
Winnebago
what was the one that they flew
Winnebago
in
one.
One.
Spaceballs?
Okay, yeah.
Say it again.
What,
What was
Patrick?
the
Oh, that's
vehicle
right,
That they
he
flew
was.
in Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm.
Spaceballs. What is Spaceballs?
Spaceballs, the movie.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about it? What?
Where Lone Star, they were flying to Winnebago in space.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know.
He and John Candy.
Yep.
All right. Well, I don't think his boat will fly yet, but who knows?
It wasn't a boat; it was a ship.
It
was
would
a
help
flying
with that
Winnebago.
railroad bridge. I can't believe in this day and age we still have to deal with that stupid railroad bridge on the St. John's.
Well,
There are ways to fix that.
okay.
If only.
Yeah, if only.
Maybe if they could do something radical like
Build a
build
taller
one
bridge.
higher, like
Yeah.
they did with the I-4 overpass over that area. It's the most insane thing that this bridge literally is like 8 feet over the water, and if it's closed, if a train is within, I don't know, something like 15 miles or whatever, they won't. You got to wait.
Really?
It's some crazy thing like that. They will not open it lest it gets stuck or something like that. You know, the train's got to have time to slow down.
Is the
Right.
Go Fast, but is that Go Fast train going to go over that river, or does that have different tracks?
I think it's different tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike knows how to sweet talk the bridge operator, I think.
Sure.
That's why he put his better half there at the helm. That probably helps. All right, more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I used to have a boat.
You did?
Yeah, she was pretty damn sweet, man. I love that boat.
So why'd you lose it?
Sometimes the things we love aren't long for this world, Vern. Especially when your alcoholic ex-wife gets drunk and falls overboard and drowns.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick Barry, the boater. We lost Mike the Mariner as he navigates through the channels of the St. John's and tries to sweet talk a bridge operator to raise the bridge so he can get his boat through. That looks like a Winnebago, just in case.
There ain't no
wondering.
sweet talking that bridge operator.
How do you know?
That bridge tender.
Why?
Because I think they've had the same person in place for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
means he's at least 50 or 60 years old.
Well, you just got to know which buttons to push. That's all. You know.
I need you to press the one that goes up.
Oh,
Press
that
the
one.
up
Right.
button.
The up button.
Maybe
Right.
maybe some chocolates for Easter. You know, that kind of thing. Hey, I got a
it's-
chocolate Easter bunny. If you raise that thing now.
I just want. I'm probably a project just to raise the rail line over that area would have to be some astronomical amount of money to do it. Otherwise, they would have done it already. But it is,
Well-
you know, that goes back to when the coal fire power stations were on the other side of the river. You know, that was a transportation hub because you had the barges coming down with the coal and coming into the coal fired plant, and then you had the train. That there was a spur there for that as well. So there was a big need for that, and I don't think there was as much recreational boating. Certainly not with yachts like Mike's, you know, or even some of the boats that I've had on there over the years, where ain't making it underneath there. We got to wait for them to open.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's things you can do to negotiate. I don't know.
No. Not when
to
it-
build a bridge over that, they would have to extend it way far out because those
I know.
require very
the
little
ramp.
Well, that's
yeah,
not
the
going to
ramp
happen.
up.
Well, I'm saying negotiate to get the bridge operator to raise it.
Ooh, what if they
quicker.
ran it underground, Barry? That would be easy.
I thought about that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm thinking more along the lines of like Mardi Gras. You
Well,
know,
because what could happen? What could possibly happen in Florida if you dig underground? It's certainly stable
Wait,
enough.
No, there's tunnels. Come on. We have the tunnel that goes from Miami to Miami Port. All the trucks use it now.
Mm-hmm.
That goes underneath that whole area, the Intracoastal and everything. So,
Right. Yeah.
But they could do that. Look, you go to Magic Kingdom if you want to get to the what's the name of the hotel with the monorails going through it. You have to go
Contemporary
on
Resort.
the Contemporary. Yeah, they have the road going underneath the water from that one bay to the other. There's
What are we talking Disney? Are we millionaires? Who can afford to go to Disney?
Well,
true.
All right. I know who can afford to go to Disney. And I got a couple stories here. Want to get Greg and Barry, your take on this, and our listeners, of course, can add their input on World of Boating on our Facebook page. We've had discussions in the past how the precursors to the word yacht get thrown around. Giga yacht, mega yacht, super yacht. And what defines that? So have two stories. Now, recently, a $500 million mega yacht, believed to be commissioned by Jeff Bezos, finally made its maiden voyage. This vessel is called the Kourou, left the facilities owned by the Dutch shipmaker OceanCo on Thursday and traveled to Gibraltar. It is 417 feet long. It is believed to be the largest sailing yacht in the world.
All right.
And this is the one we had talked about. They were looking at having to dismantle that bridge, and he was going to pay to have it dismantled and
that's
reassembled.
right.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a big kerfuffle over that. And basically they're like, okay, fine. Stupid city, don't take our money and take the jobs that we're going to create from this project and give you a better bridge, you know, in its place. So here we have, does anybody remember how big I just said this yacht was?
420 something or whatever.
417 feet.
Right.
Thank you for playing along.
127 meters.
So we would agree that that is call that a mega yacht, right?
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So down in Cape Coral, Florida, post Hurricane Ian, comes this story. A 65-foot mega yacht Did somebody let the air out of Barry?
Yeah.
65-foot mega yacht has been stranded in a Cape Coral backyard since Hurricane Ian, and they really don't know when they're going to get this thing out of this backyard. So on one hand, we have a 417-foot mega yacht, which we would agree that should qualify as a mega yacht.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe a 65-footer is in the same category as Jeff Bezos' 417-foot sailing yacht.
Well, who called it a mega yacht? Who called that 65-footer?
The stupid reporter.
Okay.
Well, they probably own a 17-foot
Well,
Triumph.
exactly. It's all relative. To him, it's monstrous.
That they pull with a Honda Ridgeline.
No, he can't. His truck can't pull my boats. It's too heavy for him.
All right, so the boat's pulling the Honda Ridgeline.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously the guy didn't really know what he was saying. Or
I think maybe it's a little some
lack of
clickbait
knowledge.
there, you know, throwing mega yacht around.
Clickbait? Would you care if you saw that? Well, obviously you did.
Some people would.
You did the story.
Hey, who gets to own that yacht? If it's on someone's land, can they keep it?
If it washed up on shore, you mean? Like
Yeah.
floats 'em?
No. So here's what's going on with that, because we're really not going to talk about Jeff Bezos' yacht, because really it's Jeff Bezos and he's got a huge mega yacht. So this boat is 65 feet long and weighs a whopping 50 tons.
Wow, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Not really.
I couldn't lift it.
So, according to the owner, Mr. Getz, until the last 30 minutes of the storm, the boat was fine. Hurricane Ian ripped the boat away from Gates's dock. It ended up 2 doors down, and it's been there ever since. According to the owner of the boat, he said his neighbors aren't too upset about their new piece of lawn art. But now this is 2 houses down.
Right.
Barry,
Okay.
do you know your neighbors 2 houses down?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact.
Both directions, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
maybe.
Greg?
Kind of. Yeah. Why?
Okay.
What's your point?
I didn't know them before the storm, but we just came together dealing with this boat in his yard. Yeah. Hey, folks, listen. Get to know your neighbors.
Yeah, really.
Especially with an incoming hurricane. Certainly helps, so you're not going, hey, you. It's a lot nicer to say, hey, Joe, is everything okay? Yeah, Bob, your boat's in my yard.
Well, but here's the problem. This is Florida. We have so much transience. I mean, I don't know all the people in my neighborhood.
You didn't say your whole neighborhood.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, a couple people.
Especially if you live on the water, man, you're probably pretty well set.
Right.
So a restoration company is working on repairing the large holes in the yacht. Then likely a large barge will be needed to lift it out, but the stern is touching the mangroves. That makes the removal even more tricky since mangroves are protected in Florida. Okay, I think at this point we can all agree. I mean, we all are stewards of the environment, especially boaters, upstanding, outstanding, except for another story we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes. The mangroves will be okay.
Yeah, they'll grow back.
I think worse for the environment is leaving the boat there to slowly decay.
Right.
Because fiberglass as a whole is not particularly environmentally friendly.
Not conducive to the
I would think they'd have
mangroves
to
either.
they'd have to lift that with a crane.
Well, yeah, they're
Drop it and
talking
crane
about
it.
they're talking about bringing in a barge with a crane on it and lifting it off to get it floating in the water. At which point they would tow it to wherever. But
Yeah.
they're going to need bring a crane in that way. I would think that you could bring one in from the road.
Yeah.
Because 65 feet is a fair size, but
Hey, look at the bright side, though. Now the boat owner that had that incident is good friends with a new neighbor, and they've bonded over this incident, and now they're good friends, at least until the bill arrives, right? Yeah. All right, more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater. All right. By the way, happy Easter to you. Hopefully you'll celebrate accordingly tomorrow. One of the things we're going to be doing on our scuba show, though, is perpetuating the legend of the Easter eel. Google it if you like. It's kind of a diving thing, but it does exist. The Easter eel is a thing. And if you don't believe me, just Google it and you'll see for yourself. But we're going to be diving into that deeper on Scuba Radio today.
it's a myth, just like the Honda Ridgeline being a truck.
Wrong.
Urban legend.
Urban.
No.
And talking about that 65-foot yacht, how they were going to get this thing back in the water, rumor has it they are going to take the power of 35 Honda Ridgelines and push it.
That could work.
Yeah.
Right, could do it with a single Ford F-250, but doing it with Honda Ridgelines it's a lot more fun.
I'll tell you what.
Tire smoke.
That is a pretty cool way to meet the neighbors, though. Hey, knock on the door. By the way, that's my boat in your yard. What's your name? I was going to bring cookies, but, you know.
I was going to see what I could salvage from it since it was in my yard.
It'd be like, is that your Honda Ridgeline in the driveway? Yes, it is. Door slam.
I don't know what.
Okay, but
mean
you
by
get
that.
so if there is someone else's yacht in your yard, you can't take it.
Yeah.
No.
When does it become floatsome or jetsam?
Finders keepers.
Yeah. I mean,
No, you're talking about the law of salvage.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and that's if you find an abandoned vessel, you know.
but if
usually
it washes up on shore and it happens to be your shore, I mean, at what point do you get to take ownership? If no one claims it, then you could take it, couldn't you?
if no one claims it, and you could certainly claim it, but at that point you then also incur all costs associated with getting that vessel shipshape and back in the water, and then Lord knows what you would have to do to go through on a title to get all that stuff changed. You know,
Just change a few numbers, make a new title.
Right.
do not
So-
do that. Do
I know.
not do
Don't
that.
do that for real. Okay, what's
Do
next?
not do that. So, talking about boaters, bad boaters, also this past week, out on the west coast of the U.S. on the Columbia River, there's a story that came to light, and there's some truly shocking video, really disturbing, and I'm not being funny about this. The video shows this boat repeatedly charging this group of sea lions out on the water. And apparently this stems from these fisher folk up there. And the boat that's charging is what you would consider to be a smaller recreational type of boat. It's not a commercial vessel, does not appear to be a commercial vessel by any means. And the federal law enforcement, as well as the Multnomah County law enforcement, are looking for this boater. The boat charges repeatedly at these surface sea lions. There's just, listen, sea lions, they're in their element. Okay, we deal with something a little different out here. Mike encounters out on the St. John's. Barry, I don't think you encounter them all too often, but they're called manatees.
Oh, we have them down here.
Or iguanas.
Well, I know you have them down there.
Yeah.
I don't know how often you encounter them.
Yeah.
And it can be frustrating as a boater to where areas, like the St. John's, where 35 years ago you could run.
Have you been down to Miami lately on the Intracoastal and seen all the slow zones?
Yeah.
It's pretty slow everywhere.
The Florida manatee, nature's speed bump.
So, the thing is, they're in their environment. You're in their environment.
Mm-hmm.
They're eating fish. These fisher folk up there get upset because they're eating all the fish. So we're going to run them over.
They do smell pretty bad, though. I will say that much.
Yeah. Don't do that, because they smell even worse dead, and you're going to smell even worse sitting in federal prison. Because that's where, when they get their hands on this moron that was driving this boat, pretty much guarantee that, first of all, guys, I'm going to assume it's a guy, should never be allowed to own another boat for the rest of his life.
Right.
Not to mention forfeiting the boat that he's got, whatever monetary fines, and some suitable prison time, if so warranted.
Yeah, and it's not a very effective way to keep them from getting your fish anyway, is it? I mean, think about it. Even if you run your boat over a line of sea lions and take out a few, that's going to make a difference.
You probably risk, with sea lions, I would imagine you probably risk more damage to your boat.
Right.
And this guy's going at him full speed. I mean, he's not, like up on the St. John's, if you encounter one, heaven forbid you come across a manatee, literally come across a manatee, you're in a slow speed zone. They're giving them time to get out of the way, to dive deep, hopefully, and get out of the way of the skeg and the prop. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But the vessels are going slow. Here, this guy he is not holding back.
Right. Well, it just sounds like a crazy person to make boaters and fishermen look bad, because 99.9% of boaters and fishermen, I don't think would agree with that kind of. I don't think anybody would agree with that type of activity. So
it's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to Barry. Are you familiar with the Broads?
Oh yeah,
I have not gone out
he
with.
is.
I wouldn't call her a broad. I'd get in trouble.
No, Barry. Are you familiar with the Broads?
No.
Well,
Is it
like the
a
Broads at the
musical review?
Columbus Isle Regatta, right, Barry?
No.
No.
Well, those aren't. Yeah, that's a different story.
That's a different type of broad.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of broads are we talking about there, Patrick?
Well, the Broads. It's an area that is known as the Broads.
Yeah.
Over in the UK. And a boat hire company has now banned alcohol on its vessels to stop antisocial behavior on the Broads. So apparently, these boats that are for hire, people, get on board, they're imbibing alcohol, and now they're peeing off the sides of the boats and generally engaging in rowdy behavior. A few weeks ago, we had the story about the rental boats, or the pontoon boats down in Australia, where this group of guys boarded this boat that was, just had all women on it, and, tried to get into a fight, and they're peeing on the boat and all this other stuff. So it's, look, stop ruining it for everybody else. I mean, truly, you're doing the right thing. You're hiring a boat. You're going to go out. You're going to do some day drinking, whatever it is. Enjoy the time out there. Be responsible in that. Don't be a jerk.
Be respectful to the Broads.
No,
exactly.
You jump off the boat and then you pee in the water. I mean, we have it down pat in Florida.
Okay, well, moving on.
Yeah. So the chairperson of Visit the Broads, Miss Sparrow, there's a minority of people who would come out just because they want to drink on the water all day. Again, nothing wrong with that. But they take crates of beer with them. They go to the pub. They moor up. They drink all day. Then they come back drinking more, and they are really over-refreshed. That's the first time I ever had it referred to as over-refreshed. But that's very English.
Yes.
Boy,
very
that
proper.
English translation is who's drunk?
Really quick. I have a friend that lives in England, and she tells me that people get plastered there a lot. I didn't realize it.
You didn't realize that broad
they
you
drink
knew?
that much. No, that
drinks a
they
lot?
drink that much in England. That's a new one on me.
Okay. Well, Barry's expanding his horizons, and there's actually other people in the world that drink. How about that?
More than CJ.
Really, you think so?
More than Jerry. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you get a bunch of broads together. That's what's going to happen. It's going to bring them
easy.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
the broads.
The broads.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there in Amsterdam in about a month. And it's
Great,
a red,
you'll
it's
be
a
in
red
nowhere
light.
near where this is
No,
taking
no,
place.
no. They got the broads there on the red light district, and if you take pictures, they throw their. They got a little cup of their relief liquids.
They're gonna have
hate mail to
Chuck
Greg
at ya.
at scubaradio.com.
All right.
please.
On that disturbing note, we'll wrap it up. Till next time. Remember, whether it's sail or boater,
Life is
better as a boater.
safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab.
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.